Assalamu alaikum, Pops.
Walaikum assalam, son.
How are you?
Alhamdulillah, bete.
Good to see you, Dad.
And you, son.
Looking fresh
Always.
as a daisy.
Oh, okay. Oh, daisies.
Anyway,
Right.
I struggled today. I didn't know what I was going to talk about with you. I didn't want to talk about bang on about the same bloody stuff as every flipping week. But
Mark, there was a subject we left unfinished when Kemi was here. So
we can delve in that a little bit if you want, Dad. But is there anything you want to talk about before I get into this?
no, I have nothing to talk. Nothing. No, nothing.
Okay, all right. So today's question.
Yeah. Oh, there's a question. Okay.
Yeah, I put a post out on my Instagram. Anybody got any questions? I've got a few of them, but this is the best one I got.
Okay.
All right, so this says, there seems to be a lot of negative competitiveness amongst our communities, friends and even families.
Yeah.
Everyone is watching what everyone else is doing, wearing, etc. Rather than help one another,
Yeah.
people hold their cards close to their chest and enjoy others' downfall.
Yeah.
Was it the same in your dad's youth? I would have thought not, as a lot of individuals and families flourished in business those days, so I assumed everything was close-knit then as people came over from Pakistan together, or because there weren't many of them around. Sorry, my reading is not very good. Would be good to hear your dad's views and where he thinks it may have gone wrong. Okay, so I've got a lot I can speak about on this
Go on,
from
then.
my own personal,
Yeah.
but I'd like to hear what you got to say, Dad.
No, you start.
So for some reason, I feel like I see it even more clearer because I come from a family where my mother was English and my father's Pakistani. Whereas if you come from a family where your mother and father are both Pakistani, you just you can't really see any of the difference. Because I had both worlds, I can see the negative and positives in both. All right, even though I class myself as more Pakistani than English anyway because of your dominance, and I've told you that last time anyway. So it's not a religious thing, by the way. Because the Arabs don't do this kind of stuff. The African Muslims don't do this kind of stuff. It's just Pakistani culture,
Mentality.
Yeah, it's the Pakistani. It's the
psyche.
Yeah,
whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, it's for some reason it's all about judging. It's all about who's better than who, who's got more than who, who's married to who. How much money this person's making, what car they're driving, all this kind of stuff, right? And it's funny because it conflicts. I think it conflicts with religion a lot. That because in religion you're not supposed to backbite, you're not supposed to watch what other person's got. You're not supposed to envy is a very bad thing in our religion as well. All these things, but then at the same time, us a devout Muslim can also be Pakistani, and the culture and the religion clash. I've always spoke about this with people, so that's what I've noticed anyway in myself. But even you've been bad at this, Dad, because not trying to put you under the bus, trick you under the bus.
Tell me, man, how it is.
Me growing up, I was a very difficult child, and obviously I've got like all these mad, mental health things going on, and also the fact that I'm not very good. I was never very good academically, which you used to hate. Because you're an accountant, you're very clever. You are very clever. You're very number guy. Everything. I'm not complete opposite. So I'm sure for you to have your only son be a dimwit is what you thought I was when I was a kid. It must have stung a bit. That it must have stung.
Everybody has their own views. You get yours out.
So my views are that you obviously, when I was growing up, I was into the whole creative side of things, the whole taking my dad's camcorder, making videos in the garage of just messing about, and then when I got into doing my university course, you were happy I was getting a degree, but overall you were probably thinking, what the hell's a degree in film studies? What's he going to do with that? You know what I mean? I understand, and you got to understand from I understand from my dad's point of view, because all my cousins are like doctors, scientists, pharmacists, accountants, engineers, and then you look at me and he's this kid's running around in nightclubs every night filming. I understand, Dad. I understand, but obviously then it was nice to see a point where your thoughts of me changed from me being a flipping dosser to me being someone you can be proud of, and you wear my hat with my logo on it, and it was nice that changed. But you got to be honest, even though I love you, I loved you even when you were not happy with me. I love you now that you're happy with me. I love you. It never changes. But I'm saying that there was a long time where you were like, "What is this kid doing? Ticky 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 on his laptop all the time." You remember I used to sit up
yes.
all night editing,
Yeah.
and you'd be sleeping, and you wake up and you burst in my bedroom and say, "What are you doing? Ticky, 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 go sleep." Ticky, ticky, ticky was like me on the, when you're editing, you got to always, you clicking, moving this there, moving that there. So there's a lot of clicking going on. He'd come in and say, "What are you doing? Ticky, 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 2 o'clock in the morning, go to sleep," So, yeah, and then obviously you were looking at it from the point of me being such a black sheep of the family. Everybody else is successful doing a job which is very, very highly classed as a really good job, like doctors, engineers, rocket scientists, bloody pharmacists, all these, everybody. And your only son is the one who's an idiot, who's not good academically. He was not good academically, and now he's taken the route of where he's running around in a nightclub with a camera. You know what I mean? So I understand, but yeah, and then also from my point of view is like, I'm from the standpoint of I don't care what people think of me. So I'll do something, for example, because I want to do it. I don't care what people think. Whereas the Pakistani community and culture is, you can't do that because what are they going to say? You can't say that because what are they going to say? There's a big taboo about everything. You can't, So yeah, that's my point of view on it, Dad. And then also the guy mentioned in the message about how they used to flourish back in your day, business, and now everyone keeps their cards close to their chest because no one wants to. There's a very famous saying which I heard a long time ago. I don't know who it was from, and I'm probably not going to get it word for word, but it's like nowadays the person who climbs the ladder, gets to the top of the ladder, will grease it on his way up, so that no one can follow behind him.
Yeah.
So the guy that can make it to the top of the ladder, he'll grease every step on the way. So then there's nobody now that. You won't find many people now that will find success and then put their hand out and help somebody else to find success as well. No one wants to, even people that want to see you doing well, never want to see you doing better than them, and that's very, very prominent now, especially.
Yeah.
But yeah, go on, Dad.
Okay.
It's your turn to spill the beans.
To just count a few of the things, because you look at my view through your glasses.
Yes.
You can't do that. So you keep saying that you thought I was this. You don't know what I thought about you.
No, it's how I felt you thought about me. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, fine.
I don't know how you thought about me, Dad.
That's fine. You're my only son, so I'm not going to say you're a loser, or you got this, or you got that, you're a dummy, and No. The problem, son, is that as you just said, that you don't care, and neither do I. I have never cared all my life what other people think, because you can't live your life if you start sitting down and thinking about other people. My history back home, a lot of people know that I did things my way, always. Either the fashion I used to wear, the things I used to wear, the company I used to keep, the activity I got involved in, my hair, like girls like that long. When I came here, the things, activities I got involved in, the night clubbing and all that carry on. I remember. It's very difficult to tell a story without, trying to expose some people and stuff like that. But I'm going to try not to. I was told when you come back from a nightclub and in a taxi, I hope you don't stop the taxi right outside the house, because they know whose house it is.
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
Yeah.
And the whole family, they know the whole family and stuff like that. So there were all sorts of, comments and stuff like that. If I would have cared about other people thinking, I wouldn't have married your mother.
Yeah.
So that's out of the way now. That you got to do things which pleases you. You got to think. Yes, you don't have to, step on other people's feelings and stuff like that. You don't have to purposefully hurt somebody or anything like that. But if you're doing something and somebody is sitting somewhere else getting hurt, that's their problem. Because you're not purposefully doing that for them. If I married your mother, I didn't mean to hurt anybody else. But that was my, thinking. So if I choose where I want to live, or if I choose what I want to eat, or which restaurant I want to go to, or what people I want to associate, that doesn't mean that I'm trying to hurt anybody else. This is what, So on purpose, I wouldn't do it. But if it happens that somebody feels like that, that's not my issue. That's not my problem. Going back to that thingy, it's not a new phenomenon, unfortunately, Harris. I mean, I back home as well, I've seen people and families and things where people are very close families, close-knit families and stuff like that, and they'll help each other out and stuff. And I've seen families where are loggers at it all the time. They are trying to compete with each other. And not only competitiveness is very, very good, but as long as it's positive. If you see, but the religiously speaking, you should be competing in Islam. You should be saying, like, if somebody's saying 5 prayers a day, I'm going to do 6 prayers a day. If somebody's keeping the whole month's Ramadan, I'm going to do not only whole month's Ramadan, but I'm going to do out of month of Ramadan, I'm going to keep fasting as well. There are some days, and if somebody may be reading Quran once a week, I'm going to read twice a week. For example, I do, alhamdulillah, do half a para every day. So this is how that should be. That way you should have a jealous competition.
Yeah.
But in life, you shouldn't have a jealous competition. You don't have envy. You shouldn't have, you try to do yourself better. Yes, fine. But that doesn't mean that you're doing it because it's like the saying that if your neighbor's face is red, you don't make yours by slapping your face. I told you that before. So yeah, I mean, I personally, hopefully the people who know me have always tried to help other people, whether it is in personal life or it is in the professional life. When I was working for council, trust me, there are a number of people who I would go to them and say to them that if you want to improve yourself, if you need any help with your application or interviews and stuff like that, I always help people out. And I took other people's fights as well. One of my friends went for an interview, and he wasn't given the interview because they favored somebody else. So I went to the higher person, John Lockhart, his name was, and I told him that interview wasn't on a competitive basis. This was right. So that interview was redone, and my friend, he lives in what area does he live in? Off Dewsbury Road, anyway.
Okay.
He lives over there.
Yeah.
So the interview was done again, and he got the job next time round.
But it was buzzing with you.
Say again?
But it was buzzing with you.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, because I was the one who took the complaint up. I also took the complaint up when there was an issue with the language that we can't speak in our own language and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I wasn't doing that all just for me. I was doing it for other people who are working in the council, or the people who are from Pakistan background or some other background, so they can speak to each other in their own language. It wasn't just my own personal thing. There are a lot of people still in council which I have helped out.
Yeah.
But I didn't get the help, unfortunately. I even know people, Haris, Pakistani, who went to quite a high level, and then suddenly their mindset, their thinking is changed. They treated, I mean, I know a particular person, and I don't want to name it, he was from Leeds 6, and he was the accountant, he was quite decent looking person and decent, educated person and stuff like that. And in finance, in Leeds City Council, social services went quite high. But then he started looking at other Asians and Pakistanis like they are nothing.
Yeah.
I had that kind of experience in there. There was the last of my not my manager, but he was at least 3 or 4 steps higher manager. He was a young lad, like, well, not younger, but comparatively speaking, he was about 45 years old, came from Manchester, married to a white woman. Haris, he, for some reason, just did not like to employ Pakistani. He would give the job to any white person. He would give the job for any Sikh person, but he would not give a job to a Pakistani. I had no idea what was going on in his mind. He thought himself to be more English than in English.
Yeah.
Haris.
Yeah.
So there are people like that, and in families there are competition as well. I mean, again, it's very difficult to, but there's a huge family I know. They are cousins and stuff, but yeah, they jealously compete with each other, which is absolutely wrong. Some of them can't even afford an expensive car, but they will go out and hire an expensive car.
Yeah, just to show.
On weddings, and when there is a big, huge wedding, and then everybody's coming in their own cars, this person will go, one or two person, not just one. I hire a car. God knows where they get the money from, but they hire the car.
Yeah.
So just to show off that they got to look. I mean, if you haven't got it, you haven't got it. I mean, I have driven all sorts of cars, Harris. You know that.
Yeah.
There was one car I bought once. There was something wrong with the radiator. The water was run out. So your mother took you and the children to Whitby or somewhere there.
Okay.
So she had to have a big plastic bottle or something full of 2 or 3 of them full of water.
To keep
because half it,
Yeah.
half it. So yeah, and then once I went. I didn't have a car because I had an accident. My car was written off and stuff, and I didn't get much money from the insurance. So I needed a car and didn't have much money. So I went to Bradford, and there was a place, I can't remember, near the football ground somewhere. They used to sell old cars. You know, people who start with their cars and stuff. I bought a car for £250, and the windscreen was cracked. Oof. So I brought the car, and I drove. And one day, my father-in-law, which I didn't have a very good relationship with, to be honest with you, he saw it and he just absolutely went berserk. He went mad. He said, how the hell can you drive this car with the kids? If he hits a bit bump like that, this windscreen is going to smash on his, you know, in those, it wasn't those, you know, that must have been an old car. Yeah. So it didn't have these glasses which you just smash and don't, you know, spread, and, you know, they go into small pieces and stuff, and they don't, it was a proper glass, you know, thingy. So, yeah. So,
what did he buy you a new car? Did he help you out?
Then afterwards, no, he didn't help me out or anything. He just shouted and screamed at me.
He had a lot of money, man.
Yeah, he did have a lot of money, but he didn't give it. Yeah.
He could give you a bit, help you out by your windscreen at least.
He just screamed and shouted at me to change it, so which I did, obviously. But I didn't think it was dangerous, to be honest with you. I should have done, but I didn't at that time think it'll be any. I said that guy was driving, so I'll be driving fine. Yeah. So from there, I improved. Then I have all sorts of cars, Harris. You know, my best car, when I was, you know, I told you Honda Prelude, it was called, and when you started, the front lights went like this. And then I had a Shogun, I had the Mercedes, I had all sorts of cars. Last car was BMW. Now I just bought a Audi Q5. So it doesn't matter. You don't have to be ashamed of if you don't have the money. You don't have to compete with other people by killing yourself.
I understand what you're saying, Dan, but in this day and age, it's very difficult because you've got to try and save face.
It's a pride, isn't it? It's people pride. Yes, it's a pride.
A lot of people. I've got pride. Like even I know. Even I feel like sometimes, like for example, right now my brakes are squeaking. Okay. Yeah. I've got a nice car, but my brakes are squeaking. I took it to the first service recently. He goes, bro, your brakes are squeaking, but they're fresh brakes, brake pads. Yeah. So you need to stop the squeaking. You got to replace the brakes and the brake pads. It costs you about £300 each brake pad. And brake. Yeah. He goes, my advice to you is, if you don't mind it, just keep driving it. The fresh brakes and brake pads. Once they're ready, then we'll change them. So now I've got to drive around. Everywhere I pull up, it's like proper loud. And that's damaging my pride. That is. I don't like pulling up in a place with squeaky brake pads.
I know. It hurts me.
And especially if you've got a family.
You're talking about the car. Yeah. I go to supermarket and I get up in a dodgy bloody trolley. Yeah. And the one, I just don't want it. I take it all back and I go on the one. Yeah. So yeah, you don't want other people looking at you. Yeah. What the hell is this person doing? Yeah. So, but there are some, very few families or friends who help each other.
Yeah, I know families who they all do their own thing.
Yeah.
But then the whole family together has got a big pot. Yeah. So they all put the money in this big pot.
Yeah.
And they flourish as families.
Yes.
You know, I've got friends who are like that. Very few. My friends have got like a car rental business. They've got a solicitor firm. They've got a florist. They've got a chip shop. They've got all these businesses, all separate things, right? Yeah. But as a family, they come together. They put in a big pot. All of them are minted. All of them are successful. All of them are killing it in life. And then there's people like you're talking about. They're probably all knackered relationships, knackered money because they're like fighting and stuff.
I know at least it's very difficult too because people are going to know if the minute I mention
just say it.
They're going to know. No.
Shallow TK.
Very, 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 very successful business. Very, very successful business. But the minute you want to talk to them about, they just don't want to tell you what they're doing, how they're making their money.
Yeah, keep it secret. The ladder thing I told you about. Recent ladder told you.
They don't want to tell you. I swear, if these people can help out another at least 5 people, the world will be a completely different place. Yeah. But they don't, unfortunately. Everybody who is successful I don't know why. I don't know why. I mean, I'm not saying that they should give you their wealth or any part of their wealth, but they can guide you
Yeah.
that this is how I done it. This is the idea. Go do it, right? But they don't. They
Yeah.
don't tell you. I mean, they would rather employ somebody completely from outside rather than they employ somebody from their or poor person from their own family
Yeah.
and give them benefit. They don't. It's very unfortunate.
I mean, I'm guilty of that as well. Now that you mentioned it like that, I feel guilty because of that. Because you know, when I was looking for staff in Dubai,
Yeah.
I came to a point where I was very successful in Dubai,
Yeah.
and I just Cammy was just born, and I really wanted to take a step back from running around like a headless chicken and filming all the time, and just spend time with my wife and my new son, my first son. I was really excited to spend time with him. So my plan was step back into like a managerial type of role where I could just send videographers around, go shoot, come back, edit, you know. So I was looking for videographers and I was searching all over from Dubai. I was applying, searching people out of Dubai, so to bring them in from UK, America, Pakistan, everywhere. Now, I had a friend for 15 years, Zishan, you know Z, right?
Yeah.
I think in his head, he thought straight away I should get the job because he was a videographer. He wasn't high level videographer, but he was a videographer nevertheless. We went to uni together, all that stuff. And he was, at the time, he was trying to get married and stuff like that. So he was busy with that. But when I put the application out there, asking everybody online, I'm looking for videographers and stuff, he thought initially got the job. My best friend, I got the job. And I didn't hire him. I hired 2 guys from Pakistan instead because they were very skilled, at the time I thought they were
very dodgy.
They were very dodgy as well. But I knew in my mind if I hired Z, it'd be good because he's my best friend. You know, I trust him. I trust him as my best friend. He's, you know, we'll get along. He'll do what I ask him to do. But I didn't think he was skilled enough. What I should have done was I should have hired him. I should have flown him out to Dubai and I should have helped him by teaching him, buying him, because he had a really crap camera. Should have bought him a better camera. All this stuff. So I made a mistake there. I got hold my hands up and that damaged our relationship because after that, I remember after that happened and I didn't hire him, he took it very personally. And when I came back to the UK, we were never as close as we were before then. We were still close, but we had a lot of fallings out, and his relationship with me wasn't as good as it used to be because maybe he felt hurt.
Well, obviously, it would affect somebody if they think that you're that close and you're that friendly and stuff like that. And suddenly an opportunity came, and they missed. They missed out.
I wish I could take it back. I genuinely wish I could take it back because those 2 guys I did hire, they did me over, and I know Z would never have done me over, but. I just at the time my head was very foggy with I need to hire guys who I don't have to babysit.
Yeah.
I need to hire guys who can land and I can just go straight out and do it. Z would have needed a lot of my time and effort to babysit him to make him better than he is. You know, even now he's not on a level where he could have done, because Dubai is not an easy place, Dad.
No.
You know, I hired another white guy. He came out. He couldn't handle it. He left. He ran off. The day before Cameron was born, I was testing him out because he wanted the job. I said, okay, bro, I'll fly you out. Let me give you a little test because he was quite young. So let me give you a little test. And he came out and I put him on a job. I went to go to the hospital for Cammy to be born. He messaged me saying, I can't do it, bro, I'm going. He left without anything. He just ran off. Yeah. So Dubai is very difficult. So, but yeah, me and Z is still not on good terms. Even that was the first, the first crack in the relationship was that.
Yeah.
So now that you mention it like that, now I feel bad. I wish I would have just put some effort into it.
This is what he should be doing. Everybody who is successful, they should be looking around them. But what the people are right, okay, there's another example as well. Because what people are afraid of, that they will be backstabbed by these people, close families, if they can give that. Because I remember my father, he had a friend, and my father got him a job in the same firm as my dad was working.
Yeah.
And we knew him. And I mean, I don't want to name him again. He's passed away anyway, God rest his soul. Uncle, and we had a family relation. We used to go to their house. They used to come to our house and stuff like that. But that guy, after about a year, started back-mouthing my father to the senior management. Because my father was on a senior position, this guy wasn't, and they were both accountant. So he obviously had a similar kind of qualification as my dad. But obviously my dad, because worked with the firm for a longer time, so he was in a quite high place. And this guy was working in a junior position and stuff like that. And he just somehow wanted to get to that position. And the only way he was going to get to that position is my father would have lost that position.
Yeah.
So that can happen as well. So fortunately, those people, senior management, was very close to my dad, and they told him. My dad could have got that guy sacked on the day, but he didn't do it. He didn't do it. He warned him though, but he didn't do it. So this can happen as well. So some people are maybe scared of that if they tell their secrets and stuff like that, the family members or a close friend, maybe they would kind of...
Yeah, it should be the opposite. If it's your family or friend or close person, there should be trust there that they're not going to stab you in the back. That's the weird thing.
But that's the thing. You see, it can happen in a very close family. It can happen as well.
Yeah, I'm not close with any of my family now.
Yeah,
the only family I'm close to is you.
Yeah.
And obviously my wife and kids. Everybody else, obviously my mother-in-law and father-in-law as well. But other than that, any extended family on any side, I'm not close to anybody.
The reason for that is because they don't hear. If you would have known them, your cousins, stuff like that, who live in Pakistan and Sweden and Malaysia now, one of them is...
some of them live in the UK that are still not close to them either.
The ones looking in close is a completely different situation. We won't go into that. That's a different situation. But the others, they love you as much as the cousins and things.
Yeah, but you can't really love somebody if you don't know them. You know what I mean?
But it's not because of that. Because of my family. No, it's not because of that. Yeah, because of that.
I'll tell you what's weird. I've got a third cousin who I had met in Dubai when I was there. Yeah. I didn't know he was my cousin until...
He's not your cousin.
Okay, but he acts like he's my cousin, right?
Well, yeah.
Because it's my cousin or whatever, yeah? That's how it is. So it's like... So it's like fourth removed.
Yeah.
How does it? It's fourth removed or third removed
something
or something.
Like that.
Right? That guy is closer to me than your brother's sons. How crazy is that?
Yeah. Okay.
Is that crazy or what?
I think we just leave it that. But there are your cousins.
I'm just telling the truth, Dad.
I know.
That guy calls me more, messages me more, sees me more, cares about me more than my own proper cousins I grew up with.
I think that is
this guy's
more,
a stranger, really. He's not nothing to me.
That's not on cousins level, I think. That's more like a friends level.
I don't have friends, Dad. I told you I don't care about anybody. I'm all right.
I know, but he's not your cousin.
He's not. I know he's not my cousin, but he says that because there's some relation there because he's my cousin's cousin, in it. So
yeah, okay, fine.
In Pakistani culture, that's one thing I've got to mention.
Yeah.
If it's any relation, even if it's distant, they treat you like his family.
Yeah.
It's like that guy treats me like I'm his family, even though we're like we're hardly any relation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So yeah, I mean that's good. But that's the thing is that you have to have your part as well, Haris. You cannot say that some person, my cousin is not my cousin because of this, that, and the other. It works both ways. You can't just have one-sided traffic. So, yeah, if there are some issues and stuff like that with some of your cousins and stuff like that, because it's not just because their fault, maybe it has to be both ways. But as I said, when there are differences and things like that, try not to divulge on them too much.
I'm not going into details, Dad.
Yeah, but
I'm just saying, it's. I moved back from Dubai to the UK.
Yeah.
For the most important reason was family. All right. So thank God I made the decision because I was able to spend 1 year with my mum before she passed away.
Yeah.
Imagine if mum passed away and I was living in Dubai, I'd never been able to forgive myself, right? So maybe God brought me back. I don't want to get all religious and stuff like that, but maybe God brought me back. Because I was living in Dubai, the high life, Dad. And God brought me back here for that one reason, to be with Mum for 1 year before she goes.
Yeah.
And that's all worth it, innit? But in my mind, I'm going to come back, and not only I'm going to be around Mum, be around you, my Holly, my wife's family. They're going to all be really involved with me and the kids, and because she's got family who's got kids and who's really. I was all about. Oh, we're in Dubai. We're not around family. We need to be around family. I've got cousins who've got kids my same age as my kids. And they never see them. I've got my wife's side of family. They've all got a big family with kids. Never see them. No one picks up the phone. No one calls. Obviously, COVID was a big part of it as well, right? Yeah. I think for everybody since COVID, everyone's kind of distant, right?
Yeah.
But the fact that the only people that really give a rat's ass about me and my family now that we're living in the UK is you and my wife's mother. Those are the two people that are all my big family on your side, all of the big family on my wife's side.
My big family is not here.
There's loads of them here, Dad. Stop talking.
No,
silly.
No. There will be.
There's so many. Dad,
there will be soon.
There's so many. Your brothers, your brother's family
they
are all here.
They're only small group.
They're big group,
You're
Dad.
talking about the Bradford lot. They are not your relatives.
No, I didn't
sense.
mention the Bradford lot at all. That's my second cousins. They don't mean nothing either. I'm
But-
talking about the first cousins who your brother's sons
Yeah.
never pick up the phone and call me, never message me, never reach out to me. I've reached out to them more than they reach out to me. I understand everyone's busy. I'm busy. Everyone's busy, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's got their own stuff going on, right? But at the end of the day, Dad, I just feel like I came back for family and there's no family. Now what am I doing here? The only person I'm here for is you and obviously my wife.
You came up for your mum and you came up for your dad.
Yeah, so now it's time for me to go back then, innit? That's what I'm saying. I want to move back now. I'm making all my plans now.
Right.
I focus on getting my ass back to Dubai because I came back for what?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? The only person keep me now is you, Pops.
Yeah.
Because obviously I like doing these podcasts but you don't give rat's ass. You say see you later, so no problem. You'd rather come over there and see me over there, wouldn't you? So
No,
100%
that's not
you would.
true, but
I see you once a week, Dad.
Yeah.
Once a week I come here to your house and I see you and we do a podcast
Who
and I
told
go.
you to go to live in Bradford? Did I tell you to do that?
I moved to Bradford from Dubai because my wife's family were living very close to Bradford, just on the outskirts of Bradford.
so now they're where they are.
Yeah, listen. Now, your advice and Mum's advice was, okay, if you come back to the UK, don't live in Leeds.
Yeah.
Your wife's pregnant with your.
I didn't say
You
Leeds.
did, yeah. You said your wife's pregnant.
I would never say that. Your mum might be,
Yeah.
not me.
She said. They said you. She
I
said,
want you to stay in the same house, boy. What are you talking about?
She said your wife's pregnant. She should be near her mother. She needs when a woman's pregnant, she should be close to her mother.
Yeah.
I said, okay. The closest house we could find in our budget when we got back from Dubai was middle of Bradford.
Yeah.
We couldn't find a house in the countryside near our family, so we said, okay, fine. So we're very close. All of a sudden, out of bloody nowhere, my in-laws say we want to sell our house now. We want to sell up and get a smaller because obviously Holly's left, Holly's sister left. They said, "What? We don't need a big house like this anymore in the countryside. We'll move somewhere smaller." They sold the house, and no offense to them, the poor guy, they couldn't find it anywhere near the house that they were looking for with their budget and for everything they were looking for near Manchester now. So now we're living in Bradford. We've committed to live in Bradford now. Place where I don't like anymore. I used to like it when I used to visit because it was full of like warmth and friendliness and people showing me love and support when I was visiting from Dubai. But now I'm living there. Now they treat me like, whatever. But I'm
Another
saying
6 months.
So one second. So they've moved to other side of Lancashire. Let's not call it Manchester. It's other side. It's Lancashire. It's classed as Lancashire.
Yes.
Takes from my house. It takes me over an hour to get there. Right.
Yeah.
Long, too far away, man.
Yeah.
Mission.
Yeah.
So they're nowhere near.
Yeah.
You're in Leeds.
Yeah.
I'm stuck in Bradford. All my family that I thought were going to be here for me, they were going to be around me. We're going to have my kids. We're going to have cousins to play with. When I grew up, Dad, I was constantly playing with my cousins. I was constantly around my auntie's house. It was very, very loving, very family-oriented environment. That doesn't exist anymore, Dad.
Because unfortunately, my brother passed away, and he was keeping it all together.
Yeah, he was a key member. Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. I think if he was still here, there'd be a lot more of that family-oriented stuff.
Yeah. Unfortunately, those things have gone since he passed away.
Yeah. I agree with that. Yeah.
And that's unfortunate, but that's the fact of the matter. Anyway, 6 months. If you do not move back to Dubai,
Yeah.
I want you to sell that house.
Yes,
I'm going to sell this house.
Yeah.
I'm going to buy a house, and we're going to all move in together.
Dad, the thing is, I'm married to an English woman. All right.
I don't care who you're married to. You can give me a room in the attic.
No.
You can
Dad,
have the whole house.
English women don't like to live with it like that, like Pakistani people do.
Yeah.
I know Pakistani families in Bradford.
Yeah.
They've got a flipping 10-bedroom house. They all live together under one roof. That's war zone time, Dad. My wife.
No, but it's very loving.
No, it's not loving. Not very loving, Dad. It's not very. My wife is against it. She don't like it. So, and I was like, you know what, happy wife, happy life, Dad. You know, and also,
Listen, we buy a house with an outhouse.
I'm not going to put you in a shed, Dad. No chance. I'd love to live with you. But it's just difficult, isn't it? You can't just all come under one roof. It's not a Brady Bunch.
Because there's so many benefits, Harris, for that. Because I can take the kids to school. I can bring the kids back from school. I can take the kids to mosque. I can bring them back from mosque. You can get on with your job. Holly can get on with whatever she wants to do.
But the personalities are going to clash. The personalities are going to clash.
It's in your head. You keep saying that we don't get on. We have no issue with each other.
Who does it get on?
You said me and Holly don't get on.
It's not you don't get on. It's just there are differences. And obviously, she's English and she wants. Obviously, a woman's home is her home, isn't it? And she's got constant, guests or whatever. And I wouldn't like it. For example, if her mum moved in full time for the rest of our lives, because then I got to be. I can't be myself in my house, can I? Because my mother-in-law's always there. Do you know what I mean? You can't be comfortable in your own home.
I offered to bring your grandma here, and Leslie wouldn't have it.
There you go then.
I don't know.
People don't like it, Dad. It's only the Pakistani culture that they like that kind of stuff. People don't like it. I wouldn't want my mother-in-law, father-in-law living with me in my. That's not my house anymore. That's a shared. We're living in a hostel, mate. We're a shared house, a shared communal living room. Are you watching TV? Yeah, I'll leave it to you. I'm going to go upstairs to my room. That's not a way to live. I'm not a student. You know what I mean? I want to be able to.
But we are gone completely other direction. We're not addressing the. But anyway, we can't talk too much about that anyway, because obviously
I think listen,
he thinks it's.
My cousins watch this, so I'm not trying to upset anybody. Like you said earlier, you don't care what people think. Like it is what it is. My cousins, they must know how I feel.
No,
anyway,
but you don't have
because
to-
I'm very distant from all my cousins anyway now.
Yeah.
I saw them on Eid. Before Eid, just now. When was the last time I saw them? I can't remember. You know what I mean? They all go for shisha regularly. Whenever I had one invite, you don't come for shisha. You know, one of my cousins used to go to Bradford weekly. Maybe don't do it anymore. He's a locomotum GP. What are they called? Locum.
Chemist, yeah.
So he used to work in Bradford like once or twice a week, and after work he'd have time to grab a quick shisha. Where the hell was my phone call? Do you know what I mean? So listen, I might sound like a crazy person right now, guys. When people do things like that, and I find out about it, straight away my defense mechanism is see you later, cut you off. I do it to everybody. If you, it's so weird, yeah. If you don't love me, right? If you don't love me, see you later. That's how it's got to be some sort of psychological messed up thing, yeah. If you don't love me, 100.
Everybody has their own life, son.
Because anybody that's in my life, Dad,
Yeah.
I love 100. You, my wife, my kids, and anybody I'm close to. I'm not close to many people, but anybody I'm close to gets 100% fierce, unbelievable love.
Everybody has
It's
their
ridiculous.
Own life, son. You
but
don't know what's
then
going on in their life. You don't know what's going on in their life, how busy they are, what issues they have.
I can only go off how that person's made me feel. You know, it's not only your side. Holly's side, my wife's side of the family as well. I've cut all them off. You know, I've heard they speaking about behind my back. Or they've done something to me personally which I've not liked, and I've even tried to have it out with some of them. But only Pakistani people and our culture we have it out verbally. White people they like to brush it under the carpet. Like if I say, "Oh, what are you doing?" They go, "Oh, listen, I see that." Yeah, they don't want to talk about it. But it's Pakistanis we'll have. You know, I grew up in a house where if I've got an issue with you, we're gonna have it out right now. Let's have it out. But white people, like Holly's family, my wife's family. They probably hate my guts. I'll be honest with you, because I bring it to the table like this, but they want to brush it under the rug.
Yeah.
That's how it is. Unfortunately, so I've fallen out with, and I've cut off most of my wife's family, which she doesn't like because English people don't like that. So she's upset that if they have a big family get together, I ain't going, mate. You go take the kids. I'm staying at home. I'm not coming. She knows that, you know. And same on your side now. Like I went the other day for Eid.
Yeah.
I might not go again now because of that day. I didn't like how I was. How it went down. I didn't feel like that's my family house anymore. I felt like I was at somebody else's house who I don't even know. That I didn't even speak to my cousins properly for a couple of words here and there. We're strangers now. See you later.
Yeah.
And every day these things get to me so much, yeah, that now that makes me want to even go back to Dubai more because no one cares about me and I don't care about anybody else, right? And I was living a good life over there, and I came back for family. Family don't mean jack shit to me now. My mother's gone. She was the heart of my family. She was the heartbeat of my family. Now, no offense to you, Pops. Yeah, but other than you and Mum, I've got nothing else here in the UK now. Soon as you go, Dad, I've got no reason to be in this country anymore.
Are you going to wait for that, or are you going to go now?
That's what I'm saying. I'm in two minds. I feel like maybe because I shouldn't go. I should just wait.
Listen.
But might be here for another 25 years. MashaAllah, you're looking very healthy.
Alhamdulillah. Listen, nothing is holding you back.
Sorry, man. I went off for one there. People are going to leave all negative comments now when they see this bullshit.
But the problem is that, yes, it's very unfortunate, but there is not many people who help each other out. They should do. This is how it should be.
That's how you flourish, Dad.
That should flourish.
That's how you flourish.
Harris, but unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. I don't know what the reason behind it is.
No, it's just a question. It's just a topic the guy asked. That's all it is.
No, but
you got an answer for it.
No, I'm talking about reason why they don't do it. The only reason is people don't want anybody to be as successful as them.
I said that right at the beginning. That's it.
And jealousy and trying to show themselves that they're better than others and stuff like that.
What's that word? Risk.
Risk is sustenance.
So no matter what someone does, everyone's got their own risk, right?
Yeah, Allah promise that. Don't worry about it.
If you help somebody out, you've got yours and they've got theirs. They can't take yours, you can't take theirs. If you help
somebody out, you will get even more than you have.
So these people are backwards freaking idiots then. I don't understand. I help people out. I don't mind helping people out. You know what I mean? So I don't think to myself, if I help that guy out, he might take my job. Let him take my job.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like I brought out One of my competitors at the time was one of the guys who took Qatar with me. Everybody said, "Oh yeah, between you and that guy, you both one of two of the best guys in the UK are doing these videos." I did all the videos for Oasis. He did all the videos for Lord Aleem. Oasis and Lord Aleem, two of the two top supercar rental companies in the whole of the UK, right? I did the one up here. He did the one in the Midlands. So I could have easily said to myself, "I'm not hiring that guy. What, we're going to bring him. Everyone's going to look at him and he's going to get all work off me. No chance." I said to him, "Yo, bro, I got to work in Qatar when I come." He said, "We're very good friends now. There's no need for you to cut people off or not give people opportunities because you think they're going to take over. Everyone's got their own paths, Dad."
Yeah.
So I don't think like these backwards people, but I'm saying that there are a lot of people out there that think like that, unfortunately. So that's it, innit? What can you do?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Is that it?
Anyway, I'm sorry. I apologise to you, Pops, that I went off on one. You weren't expecting me to go off on the family like that. But, I'll be honest with you, I've been holding that in for a long time and they're probably going to watch this and they're probably going to make me say, "You bastard."
Yeah, I mean, there are certain things you can do and there's certain things
I've mentioned a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff I haven't mentioned because I don't want to flip and go full throttle. But
there's no need for that. This is not a personal
attack.
Yeah. So it's just as a reference, we can say a few bits and pieces, but then going again, I mean, anybody can sit down in front of the camera and start talking about somebody else and say things bad.
It's just very upsetting from my point of view. It's very upsetting from my point of view.
Yes.
That
I know where you're coming from, son.
What I expected from my family, I didn't get, and that's why I'm upset.
But there are a number of factors as well which you're ignoring. One of them is that the main link is gone.
Yeah.
And that was my brother. He was the one, he was the oldest and he used to do everything and he knew take care of everybody. He knew how to handle people and stuff like that.
Yeah, he was very good at that.
And unfortunately...
But you were supposed to take over. You're next in line, Dad. You should have took over what he did. Keeping the family together.
Yeah. Okay.
Not for me, not for me.
The second thing is that obviously you have a very little family here.
Ego.
You keep saying there's only one Haris. You're talking about one brother in his family. I got 7 brothers and sisters, Haris. So they're not here. Wherever they are,
they're strangers as well, Dad.
In America, Canada. One of the families moving from Canada. So inshallah, that will be even.
Who's moving from Canada?
Canadian family.
Canadian family.
Yeah.
Who's that? Who's moving to the UK?
Uncle Riaz and do you want to name everybody?
What, Rahan and them?
Rahan, yes, Rahan.
They're moving here?
Yeah, they're coming near Manchester somewhere.
Okay, why?
But the whole family, because he's got a very good job.
Rocket scientist over there.
Yeah, but he's got a very good job here, so he's coming. The whole family's coming.
Is that why you visited recently?
Yeah.
Check it out.
Eh?
Is that why you came recently?
They will be, they will be here in. They were going to be here in May, but for some reason it's been delayed, so they'll be here in June. The whole family will be here in June.
I'm happy for him, Dad, but I want to get the hell out of here. I'll be honest with you. I don't even want to see June.
Other thing is, I'm telling you, there are 3 more cousins are coming near you. One is already in Sweden, so why don't you Denmark or Sweden? Where is it?
I think Denmark is Sweden. I don't know. I'm not going to geography either.
Right. So why don't you just fly down there and go see him? You've seen him. You've been with him a number of times. He's very good with you. Another one.
Listen, I don't need to force relationships.
No.
If I want to force relationship, I'll force it with loads of people.
Other one got a very good job in Oslo, so he's going to move to Oslo, so you can go and see him. And the third one has got another nice job.
He's throwing around names. Is Oslo in Sweden now? Google this, man.
Yeah, Google where the Sweden and Denmark and Oslo are. But anyway, so these 3 cousins are coming and they will be very friendly with you. I can promise you that.
I'll be out of here. I'm going. Right. The capital of Denmark is Copenhagen, so that's not it. Capital of Sweden is Stockholm.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's neither of them. Where is Oslo? Oslo, I've heard it before. I think it's Norway, innit? Norway.
Yeah.
Those 3 different flipping... Anyway.
Yeah, so these 3 places, and the other one is in Malaysia.
Who's in Malaysia?
So the oldest one, Nomi.
What's he doing in Malaysia?
Muhammad Ali Khan. He's got a job there, a very good job there. So he's in Malaysia.
This is me growing up. Growing up, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm running through nightclubs and my dad goes, he's got a very good job. Your cousin's got a very good job, very good job, very good job. He's got a very good job. He's got a very good job. What? And I'm a flipping dosser. That was my whole my whole growing up, you know.
IT and the telephone.
Mashallah, he's a rocket scientist. Mashallah, he's a
there are 2
doctor.
rocket scientists, Harris. 2 rocket scientists. One in Canada, one in America. Well, no, they're both in Canada, sorry. They're both rocket scientists, right? So this one who's come in, he's the most genius one who's come in, Rohan.
Oh, he's genius now.
Genius, Putra, genius.
Alhamdulillah.
He even does lectures and stuff in different countries on.
I grew up with this guy.
And he's got to do with some.
Look at his face. He's lit up now talking about my cousins, but what talks about me? He's like,
he's got to do something.
He's a videographer. Yeah, he's all right. He's half talented.
He's got to do with something with going to Mars and all that carry on and making the trolley which goes on the Mars and stuff like that. That's what he's involved in. So get out of this and go to visit those 2-3 people.
I don't want to. I'm a one-trick pony, Dad.
Yeah.
I'm going back to Dubai.
And you were all right with the 2 in America as well.
No. I don't like anybody. It's probably me that's the problem.
They especially came for your wedding
anybody who come for your wedding, Dad, that doesn't mean jack shit. You know what I mean? Do they speak? Did they contact me outside of anything? Have I spoke to them? Have I spoke to them since my wedding? No. Did they contact me ever?
Have you tried to contact them since your wedding?
Now and then I've dropped a message here and there with no response. I thought,
I
swear to God, I have. I swear. People have got their own lives. I understand that, but anyway, even if they did contact me, you know what's funny? Yeah. Even if these people did contact me, I probably wouldn't link them in because I'm an introvert and I'm a bloody recluse. So I'm like.
So then again, why are you blaming others?
I'm not blaming them. I'm just saying this is how it is. Like it's what it is, isn't it? It all boils down to the fact that I need to get my ass back to Dubai. I've figured it out. I realised that that's what I need to do. I'm literally going full throttle for that goal now.
You got to do absolutely what you got to do, son. Nobody's stopping you.
I know that.
Nobody's stopping you.
I will never ever find happiness here. I'll never be content here. It's fugazi, Dad. Bullshit.
Watch your language, boy.
So what else was I going to say to you now?
What?
I was going to say something else. I forgot. Oh, my dad growing up, right?
Yeah.
I forgot to talk about the flipping, what he used to do on this table, beat the crap out of me over maths equations, remember? My dad was so desperate for me to be good at maths. I was rubbish at maths. It was my worst subject. To this day, it's my worst subject, yeah? I was so bad at maths. My dad, first of all, we had a Nigerian guy living next door called Charles. Remember Charles?
Yeah.
Right? Just next door, yeah? And he was what was he? What did he do for a living? He was like a scientist or something, or like a teacher.
Something like that.
Right?
Some teacher.
Very, very clever, like a Nigerian geezer, like minted and flipping, really clever.
He goes, science teacher, yeah.
Science teacher or something. He goes, take my son and give him tutor lessons in your house. Did he pay him or not? Was it free or did you pay him?
I think I paid him something. Okay. I don't know. I can't remember.
So I used to like on a weekends for about 6 months or something, or 6-week holidays and summer holidays, rather than playing outside like most kids or having fun and enjoying themselves. My dad made me sit with this Charles Nigerian dude in his house and do math equation upstairs. And it was horrible. And then he got one of my teachers from school who I didn't like, called Mrs. King. She came up to my house every week after school, guys. This is how harsh my dad was, right?
We tried everything, man.
He paid my teacher who I didn't like. She was a horrible old white woman called Mrs. King. I didn't like her. To come over to the house and sit in my bedroom, write all these equations out for me. And I remember she had a really big fat hand, yeah. And she used to write 134 times 750. And as she writing with a pen, she used to push down really, really hard at you. I could hear the pen really making a lot of noise, and then her hand would go, across the paper. It's these sounds I used to remember thinking, this woman is it, And then on top of that, he signed me up to this place where only geniuses go, kid geniuses. Remember Chalks Tech North?
Yeah.
Up the road,
Harrogate Road.
In Leeds, there was this building. It was called Tech North, and people call it Chalks as well. And that's basically where like parents have to pay a lot of money for their kids to go there. It's like an extra curriculum place. It's like a flipping prison, isn't it? You go in there, they teach you computer skills, how to type without looking at the keyboard. It's like basically trying to get
nothing
kids.
Worked with you.
Nothing worked with us. and then after all, it didn't work. But I'd sat me down here. He used to write down all these mad equations, and I'd have a big wooden ruler in his hand. And if I get anything wrong, he'd whack the shit out of me with it.
I still have it upstairs.
The ruler.
I didn't break it.
Broken.
Yeah, it's not broken.
And I'd sit here, and literally, it's like he'd write these equations out, and I'd sit here like shaking, like, what's 2 times 2? 4. Good. What's 5 times 5? 15. Just couldn't beat the shit out of me with his ruler. I can laugh at it now, but at the time, that's pretty much torture, Dad. He was desperate. He was like, you fat, dumb bastard. I'm going to teach you how to do flipping equations.
It didn't work.
It didn't work, Dad.
It didn't work. Anyway, you done well, mashallah, alhamdulillah, so don't worry about it. Because there are some things you learn from life and stuff like that. So hopefully you won't do any of that with your children.
Never.
Okay. Fine. Good.
Okay, Dad, thank you very
So
much.
that'll be the, all right. That's it.
Appreciate. Unless you want to talk more, Dad.
No, there's nothing we can say. Unfortunately, that's. I mean, we don't have any answer why, or we don't have any suggestions. But this is the fact that this is the world is we're living in, and it's nothing new. People back home, people do the same thing. Sometimes people will help each other. I know a couple of guys who did when I lost my business and stuff like that. There was a guy, he helped me out. He gave me a stall in Leeds Market.
That's one thing to say, actually, Dad. It's very negative what we said, but there are a few gems out there who will help you. You know,
Yeah.
there's guys that have helped me out when I've been down. Like there's guys in Dubai, for example, who there's a guy called Martin. Can't ever forget Martin, right? This one white guy, right, who was like very high up in one of the companies. And when I was ever having really quiet times in Dubai with no work, he'd always look after me. He'd always say, "Yeah, I got this for you, got that for you." Like just extra bits. He'd always like promote me to other people. You know, so small people like that are like angels, they're like literally like angels on earth that can literally there for you when you need them so
there should be more
most.
people like that. I mean, that guy was called Saeed. He's just like my older brother's name was Saeed as well, but this guy's Saeed. And he used to do fashion on around the road and stuff, and he used to buy stuff from London and Salaam and all that carry on. And he had a stall in Leeds Market. Once he found out that my shop was burned down and I went bankrupt and stuff, he asked me one day, "What are you doing?" I said, "I've got nothing at the moment." So he said, "Well, I got the stall if you want to work there." He only gave me £100 a week. But,
somebody helps out.
So I mean, it was So it was something he helped me out with. And then there's another guy who gave me a little job again. But very few people
stepping
like
stones.
but there are others where very successful business people and all that carry on.
They won't piss on you if you're on fire.
They don't.
If you're on fire, they won't piss on you, Dad. You know what I'm saying? Bad. These people are bad.
They're very nice to your face and stuff like that. I know one guy who just talks to you. The smile is from there to there and all that carry on, and nodding his head. You are what a nice man and all that carry on.
The guy that I know is here at Moscow all the time.
Why you have to go into detail?
Let's rinse him, innit?
No. Huh? So, but deep down.
Yeah.
I mean, I have very close family members who are very, very successful. But they even
your best friend for many years is a minted.
Which best friend?
You know what I'm talking about? The one with the big house.
Well, yeah, but I mean that's my.
Yeah, but still, your friend could get he could give you a couple of tips.
He can't do anything because he was my classmate to start with.
Yeah.
He qualified. I didn't qualify. That's my problem.
Couldn't you just go all these years ago? Not now. It's too late now. But back then, couldn't you just come back and qualified again? What's up with you?
But when you have children, and especially the first child is a special child.
Yeah.
Then
I wasn't special,
all this
no?
education. Well, no, not in that sense. So you just these things just go. You're worried about earning.
I know that.
Having a shelter, buying food and clothing and stuff like that. So education just goes out of your head.
I know, but I think if that's the only thing stopping you from becoming like your friends, quick night course or something. I don't know.
The thing is that we were together at uni. He qualified. I part qualified. I didn't qualify. If I would have qualified, my life would have been completely different. It's like sliding doors.
Is that one of your biggest regrets? Not qualifying?
Well, obviously, yes. Definitely that I shouldn't have got even married until I was qualified and stuff.
God's got a better plan than we have, Dad.
Yeah, I mean, that's what, you think of something else, but what is planned for you is planned for you, isn't it? You can't do anything.
Yeah.
So the way things happen, I mean, who knew? People talk about always that close marriages with cousins and all that can produce special children, well, people call them disabled, but I don't like to call it.
Yeah.
But who knew that me and Leslie would have a first child who would be Down syndrome? So this is what happens. And who knew that I will end up buying a frigging shop with an off license in it, which I always hated. Haram, and then I ended up with the.
Did you get a lot of comments about that, by the way? Because I know nowadays if a Muslim sells alcohol even in a restaurant, they get rinsed.
Yeah, I told you even then. I don't care what other people say. It was my mistake. I ended up I was desperate because to buy a business at that time, I sold my house.
Yeah.
So once I sold my house, we were living.
Bless you.
Excuse me. We moved into your grandma's 2-bedroom flat.
Yeah. Oh,
But
that must have been rough.
I know. 3 children, well, no, 2 children, a third wasn't born there at that time. 2 children, me, your mother, and with your grandma. We're living in this small
Box flat,
flat.
yeah.
And I got the money in the bank, and the approved from the loan from the bank as well. And I know where to go. I was looking for a shop. Very nice shop with a beautiful attached house at the back and stuff like that. We were looking at that. But the guy got stuck into a certain amount and he wouldn't budge from there. And I didn't have that budget. My budget was about 20,000 short than what he was asking for. Because I've already borrowed £80,000 from the Barclays Bank and £30,000 of my money. So I had about £120,000. He was asking for 150 and he wouldn't budge.
I still can't believe that.
And that was a proper newsagent and supermarket without the alcohol. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah, too much.
But when that deal fell down, then this was available
and you just
next.
took it straight.
So I just had to, because Haris, a month, 2 weeks after.
Desperation, wasn't it? You wanted to get out of the situation.
2 weeks after, the bank would have started charging me money.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I have no income coming, so I'm going to keep paying. And at that time, the loan payment was £1,500 a month.
Yeah.
So I just, as a desperation, I had to buy this place and I bought it. So that's how I ended up in there. So this is all happened.
Did a lot of people start rinsing you because you were selling alcohol?
A lot of people are talking about it and all that carry. A lot of people talk behind my back. A lot of family members talk behind my back. A lot of, it all went, my own older brother was quite upset about it.
Was he?
Obviously. Yeah, because, my family is quite a religious family.
Yeah.
And
it's very religious, actually, the family.
Yeah, I mean, and my brother was quite upset. He couldn't say anything because obviously, but I mean, he didn't say anything to me personally, but obviously he was kind of embarrassed because he got it in the neck from other people as well. Oh, what are your brothers doing?
Oh, yeah.
That's what the people do. They don't come to me directly.
Come to your family,
But they will go to my brother and tell him, oh, look what your brother's doing. When I was young, I was studying at the moment and I was going to nightclubs. Still, a lot of people came to my brother and said, oh, your brother was in a nightclub there.
What were you doing, Les? Why were you, you busting you in there as well?
My dad did that. Full credit to my father.
Yeah.
When I was young, there's in Pakistan, in Lahore, there's an area called a red light area.
Aye.
Yep.
Lovely jubbly.
And there, unfortunately, within that area, there's a very nice food place.
Oh.
Yeah, where people go to
Do
eat.
they all go there as well? Lunch break. Lunch break.
Yeah. But I'm telling you, because I don't tell you lies and stuff like that.
No.
I went with my friends because it was very famous.
Yeah. What kind of food do they sell there?
Haris, you wouldn't have liked that. The pie,
rough.
I know. Bhajia the pie.
What, jelly pie?
No, Bhajia is the name of the guy.
Okay.
And the pie, Bhajia the pie, that was much popular.
Why would you call
Bhajia pie.
Why would you call Bhajia pie?
Bhajia is the name of the guy who owned the bloody restaurant place. And the pie was the feet of cow and
I don't know what people like. Why do you love that, don't you?
Oh, Haris, yeah. So Bhajia pie was very famous. So once we were college friends and we decided to go Bhajia pie. So we went to go Bhajia pie and then somebody saw me, a distant relative. And he came to my father, thinking that I'm going to get him done and all that kind of stuff. Sits with my father talking, had a couple of stories, others and all that carry on. I said, the day I saw your son, you need to look after him because he was there. My father said, where? He said, there. I said, when? He said, a couple of days ago. So what were you doing there?
That's good.
Honestly, my father till today never asked me that.
That's good.
People who were sat there at that time, they told me the story.
Yeah.
My father never pulled me up and asked me why you were there. In fact, he asked him,
yeah,
okay, my son was there, but what the hell were you doing there?
That's good. That's good. I like it.
This is called trust.
Yeah.
All right. So my father never put. There are a number of things happened where my father once went and he was sat in a big gathering, and people tell me these things. I had recently completed my BCom from the university, and I was free. And suddenly, one of my friend on Mall Road. There was a place called Mall Road in Lahore.
Yeah.
We were just walking around there, and one of these guys, he came over and he said to me, he was just acquaintance from I don't know how I knew him, but I knew him. And he just came for the pan and smoke as well. We used to have cigarettes and pan from the pan,
Yeah, no fun. Come on, Dad.
So, hello, how you doing? How you doing? So, how you doing nowadays? I said, well, just completed my university and stuff like that. So I'm free at the moment. He said, oh, would you like a job? I said, have you got a job? He said, oh, yeah. A friend of mine owns this car showroom called Rashid Motors. So on Fatima Jinnah Road. And if you come down tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock, okay, I said, fine. So 9 o'clock in the morning, I went down there. This guy introduced me to the owner, and the owner said we need a part-time accountant, so would you be able to do it? I said, yeah, sure, why not? So he showed me the books, what to do and all that carry on. The all thing had to be that there were about 60, 70 cars there, so I had to make a account of all the documents of the cars, where they are in the filing order and stuff like that, which cars are going out, which cars are coming in, just getting the paper signed when anything goes out, and when they come back in. That's for the whole of the thing. He had a proper accountant who used to do the cash and sale and stuff like that, like we did when we bought the car. An accountant was separate. My job was just to make sure that all the cars and everything and the paperwork documents are in order. I had not much to do with finance and stuff like that. So got the job and stuff like that, and then about a couple of months later, Ramadan came, and I used to come home in the evening. So my house was about 3 or 4 miles away from where I was working. So on my way, I used to get rickshaw in those days. Afterwards, they gave me a car as well, but initially I got a rickshaw. But I used to stop in Mazang Chong, and I used to stop and get samosas and pakoras and fish sometime and different things to come home for iftari.
Okay.
In Ramadan, my father always used to go and his older brother, my Uncle Tariq's dad, to his house. And before about an hour before iftari, he used to come back home to do the iftari with the family. So one day he just sat there talking and all the carry on, and my uncle suddenly looked at me and said, oh, it's only 15 minutes left and you haven't gone. He said, no, it's all right. I said, why? He said, my son will take care of it. So my fruit and stuff I always take. So my father, the way he bigged me up with the people and stuff like that was that when I did something good, he always bigged me up with other people. This was a very small just a thing, that it was my father's job to bring fruit and other things home for a start. And when I started doing that, my father was relaxed and stuff like that he doesn't have to rush home quickly. My father knew, and he told other people as well in a big gathering and all that, that my son will take care of it, my son will, So when I was studying, I got a very bad beat one night, because again it was Ramadan, as it happens, and I went out with my friends and we were studying, and my exams are coming up, and so we studied all night, and at study time I came home, and my father just got very angry because I stayed out all night. And in those days it wasn't allowed to do. So my father just had a full go at me. And I kept saying to him that I was studying, and he didn't believe me. He said, so after completely beating me up and all that carry on, I decided to, there was summer days and stuff like that, so I had a white trouser, shalwar and white treason, a very very thin shirt. So I decided that I'm going to leave the house now because I've been studying all night and I got beats and stuff. So I came out of the house and started walking, and walked to the train station. So I'm going to get a first train somewhere. No money in my pocket, and I sat there. And sometime, things happen, and you can imagine. You don't know how. There was a very, very notorious gang leader, whatever you want to call it. He was walking around at the train station. He's come to me, young lad who sat there. What are you doing here? I said, I'm running from home. That guy sat down with me, Haris. He gave me a lecture for half an hour. Where are you going to go? You're going to miss your mother, you're going to father. What do you think is going to happen to them and all that? After 45 minutes, he convinced me to come back home. If that guy And he was a bad guy. He's a baddie.
Yeah.
If he wouldn't have sat down with me, and I was going on a train, God knows where I was going.
Yeah.
So I come home. Anyway, and a few weeks later, exams happened and my result came. And my father cried, obviously.
Did he?
And yeah, came and helped me. But in those days, the sorry wasn't from the father. Fathers don't say sorry and stuff. But obviously, he then realized that I was, because I passed. Because I don't know, he was expecting me to fail or whatever, but I passed and stuff like that. So these things can happen in life when people, and I obviously, we're not very good to showing. I did not hug my father apart from Eid day. You come every day, you hug me every time. Yeah. I only hug my father when he was Eid, and we will go Eid hug.
That's sad, that.
No, but it's just in those days.
I don't like that. I've forced.
Yeah.
I've forced affection on you from a young age.
I hug my mother all the time.
But your dad needs a hug too, man.
No. But Harris, in certain cultures and some, this doesn't happen that often.
Yeah, but if you break that, like I broke it with you.
Yeah.
You know, I get messages all the time. You know, people say to me, I wish I had a relationship like you have with your dad. I wish I could hug my dad. I wish I could, talk to my dad the way you talk to your dad. Like, you've just got to break down these barriers.
I didn't think of that.
It was difficult for me. I used to be scary when I was a kid.
Yeah.
You're a very intimidating guy when I was a kid. I broke down all the barriers. And now look what we're like. Because I broke down those barriers on purpose. It took a long time, Dad.
So I don't show you on things like that, but I'm very proud of you, son. I'm proud of everything you achieved.
You never say it, well, thank you. I appreciate it.
I know, but I am, son.
Well, you've not really got anything to be proud of at the moment, because I'm not in a good place at the moment.
No, that's
in the past,
I'm proud of you being you.
Appreciate it.
So it's simple.
Appreciate it.
You do whatever you do. You achieve something, that'll be even better. If you don't achieve, you, my son, and I'm proud of you, Betty. For being even a decent person, a father has to be proud of his son.
Appreciate it.
I'm proud of you that you, although there's some influence from Dubai as well, and alhamdulillah that you spent that 5 years in there as well. I'm proud of you that you come here for Friday to go to mosque with me.
Yeah.
Although you can easily go to a mosque over there, or you not go.
Yeah.
Right? There are a lot of people who don't go. I don't again name names. But there are a lot of people, Asian family, father, mother, they don't go to mosque on Friday. Or even Friday, let alone saying 5 prayers a day, they don't. But I'm very proud of you that you do that. Not only you do that, but you also come here so you can stand next to me. And I'm very proud when you, me, and then Cam is standing next to each other saying prayers. And I want that to be more regular thing to happen. I'm proud that you are how you are with your children, and you're bringing them up, and how caring you are with your wife, how caring you are,
Don't make me cry, Dad. Chill out, yeah? I've only cried on one podcast, I'm not crying this one, yeah? So let's slow down a bit, yeah? Dad, appreciate that. I love you too. Proud of you too, yeah?
Love you too.
Thank you, Dad. Thank you, man.
Okay, yeah.
We'll wrap up there, yeah, guys?
Inshallah.
Emotional ending.
Yeah.
Anything you want to say, Dad, before we leave?
No, thank you very much for tuning in. Keep watching.
Yes.
And keep coming up with questions. I'm not sure that we can give you 100% answers, but we can try our best to tackle any question you have, anything you can throw. Try as difficult as possible. So see if we have anything to talk about. The minute we think, we can't answer that, that'll be challenging, won't it, Sam?
Yeah, well, I think we can always. By the way, the mics have the things flipping died, the battery for the recorder. So I don't know how long now we've been recording just with the camera.
Sure?
Yeah, camera audio's gone off. So I apologise, guys, for the change in audio.
Well, if it's gone, then how?
No, the camera's recording it, but it's just very not as good as these. Not as good as these. That's all.
Oh right.
They'll still be able to hear us, but it won't be. It'll be like a bit tinny and stuff. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. I go live on TikTok now every night, almost every night. So 8 p.m. ish, 9 p.m. on TikTok. Harris Effendi, HARIS EFFENDI. It's down below. Anyway, check me out. Come on live. And yeah, every week, me and I do the podcast. We missed last week because it was Eid last week. But every week we try and do it consistently, and I'm enjoying it. Dad, you enjoying it? The podcast?
Yes, absolutely.
Right, guys, leave a comment below. Subscribe, like, share with your friends, and we'll see you guys next time. Yeah, safe, guys.